This is the polytunnel heater rocket mass project. This is going to be the J tube. Fuel in there. That one going into the middle of that, which will obviously be upside down. And then a flue out of the flange at the bottom through more of this pipe, going all the way down the trench filled with the excess pea gravel from the garden. This is the polytunnel disassembled, or the first section of it anyway. I've made these brackets which allow it to bolt together nice and securely. Yeah. So that's the core and the radiator upside down. Sort of, well, tacked together. I think it'll work. Didn't come out at 90 degrees there, but never mind. So this is the polytunnel heater so far. Feed tube, ash clean out, riser about to be filled with insulation, and the copper bell that snugs nicely down onto that flange. So testing the greenhouse heater. We've got some dry wood in the feed tube and a lovely little rocket flame coming out the top. Banging. That's what you want. So the bell then fits over the top and does the radiator thing. I added a little angle on the end and a hatch, which is very useful. Good for lighting and cleaning, shut off for running. I've bunged up those two unions with fire cement. I'm going to give it another burn. It's been going for half an hour or so. Couple of little combustion hiccups, but it's still gently rocketing. I wouldn't say it's rocketing, but the bell is hot, the fuel consumption is favourable, and coming out of the exhaust is what looks to be like steam, which is what is to be expected if things are working well. It's difficult to see. There we are. Rocket mass heater in situ with the start of the flue in place. Just going to fill it all up with gravel and see what happens. Ooh. So this is the first burn in the garden. It's gone quite well. It's too dark to show you anything other than this, but yeah, definitely too dark. Let's see. torch make any difference? No. Few twigs. And the fire cement seems to be holding. The exhaust is running down the pipe in the trench. It's getting warm, so the gravel will be getting warm. It's looking pretty good. And I think there's probably a way that if I load this up last thing at night and shut all the vents, then it might all turn to charcoal in the morning, which would be good. Rocket mass heater installed, half a flue pipe, thermal mass, small bit of char left over from last night, which is very exciting, and a single line of creosote. It's looking quite sweet, so I'm just going to light up. So after a couple of minutes, it seems to be a consistent example of what's coming out, and it smells a bit smoky. It's very cool. I can hardly feel any warmth there at all. The pipe, similarly cold to the touch. So it's been burning for about an hour, I suppose. It's very gentle, which is exactly what I want. It's nice and toasty down here. There's steam coming off from the drying pebbles that I've loosely thrown in around the base. There's no smoke coming from the two joins in the flue pipe. And as long as you can hear the gentle rocket. Okay, so it's not quite cool anymore. There is some definite warmth to that. So still not managing to extract every last bit of heat. I just thought you could steam veg. Pour water in there, pan on top. That's great though. And this really is burning twigs. So it's 1 o'clock, so it's been burning for 3 or 4 hours now. I have it currently running entirely on fuel from the garden, which is satisfying. The exhaust is looking pretty clean. It's a very slow burn. I'm drying out root material that I dug from the garden whilst I was preparing the ground. The bell is, yeah, you can do that and touch it, but you wouldn't want to hold on to it. Perfect temperature. The only thing is I can't get it to reliably burn down the feed tube. It's viciously hot in there. So I have to fuel it through this tube, which is okay, it works. Let's see, got a nice burn going on in there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because the tubes are so small and they need to be twice the diameter. But the masonry is just starting to warm up round here. That's quite nice and warm. The pea gravel is drying out, and that's that wisp of stuff you can see there, I think is just steam. But it's such pleasant warm heat off that copper radiator. I have high hopes for this. You know, I'm burning a tiny amount of fuel and you know, I'm outside, it's November, and then November in Wales, which is not harsh by any stretch, but I'm sort of approaching t-shirt comfort. And I just realised, because this is a bowl on top, at the end of a gardening session I can pour a bit of water in there, wait for it to warm, and wash my hands in warm water before going in. Oh, that'll please her.